This again is a residential cum workplace project. Please, you could.
This is a piece of land on which I lived with my grandmother, and when she passed, we started all over again. And such a deeply personal project got me to a point wherein a lot of what I was up until then, with the education, the social construct, was challenged by myself. I really felt like the not knowing was more powerful than the knowing and believing. And when you kind of allow yourself that vacuum within, then you're ready to be filled up with newness, and you ask questions which you may not ever have, whether it's the way a window functions or whether the light comes in and how close you get to the trees, what it means to really bathe in a space, how to integrate that with the bedroom, how to bring down boundaries between spaces, how to make people feel the presence of absence. People are never lost. The ones who are very dear to us live on through us and with us. So rather than think about them in mourning, make them an intrinsic and essential part of your everyday life. And this is a tribute, an attempt to do that. This in the center is a space I call the nothing space, because I feel that the less definition a space receives, the more abstract it is, the more value it actually adds to your life. So the ability for something that is nothing to become everything is very powerful. When you just walk around, it facilitates a voyage, it facilitates a journey through, around, beyond, and the observer feels like they're just one with shadows and themselves, which I think is the essential purpose of architecture, to bring you closer to you. To let go of the peripherals and the superfluous, and to really allow for those moments of being with yourself. And how often does that one really get the chance to do that in a space? Rather than shouting out with color and decoration and embellishment, a nothing space that really provokes all and every. The architecture on the left that you see is, you see one side of a solid and you see all these different tentacles, bridges, leading into it from different angles. And every layer has a different view, a different purpose, and when you actually stand in that space experientially, it makes you feel like these are moving into infinity, because the sky is the void between the two solids which hold the bridges. The wall on the right, the extreme right, is a tribute to her, well, the whole space, but in physical form. There are some photographs. She was an amazing cook, like all our mothers are. This is the culture that we come from. So she nurtured with food that touched your soul before it even got to your belly. And, just fragments of pages from her notebooks and kitchen equipment that she would use. So the whole idea of this project now, with hindsight, and I see this more clearly after it's complete than even at that time, is to bring to life loss. So if I were to put it in a few words, bringing loss to life. Certain aspects of rooms, for instance, the act of bathing, celebrating it by putting it right next to the tree, having this incredibly visceral rough wood, having the tub created out of marble in a way that it feels almost hedonistic, and having a cedar sculpted within it so that it becomes an integral engagement with the bed. In this view, you see that the entire ceiling is reflected. So it just amplifies all that is beautiful, and it just makes you feel like you're walking through an illusion. So for me, Hira is the name of the building, but it's also a conversation and a constant presence of Hira, my grandmother.
Beautiful. Thank you. Talked about sustainability not just from the definition of it, but you also said sustainability also stands for sustained human spirit. And that's something that you've tried to, like you shared the story. But tell us more about how you have created that, especially in the workplace part of your project.
Well, sustaining the human spirit is fundamental to just being a new self every day. And walking to a space that provokes and evokes the best part of you, actually feeling alive, which allows all of your thoughts to regenerate for everything you do that day to be celebrated by the inner self. So space shapes us profoundly, and to that end, spaces need to be less defined and more in between, more transformational, more kinetic, more abstract and intangible. And we create various spaces for various functions, but I think you need to get people to walk to the edge of a bridge just because it's there and it's possible. And the architecture to speak to you and beckon you, urge you, whisper to you, feel like there is more than what you see. So taking a flight of steps just to feel the breeze from a tree and having an element that moves towards the tree more profoundly than just the railing. To have spaces within that create a sense of community where you want to meet with people and have a chat and engage, but also places where you just want to be by yourself. So the provocation of architecture, when employed intellectually and creatively, is to restore, to regenerate, and to heighten who you are every day. And those are the spaces that will constantly just create better versions of us and everything we do therein. For me, a space is about, for instance, when Ravi mentioned gravity, the aspect of flight, how far can that bridge go, whereupon when you stand upon it, you literally feel like unburdened, weightless, and ready to take flight. Those are the emotions and the feelings that architecture is and must provoke.
Absolutely, I think that's just one thing that the pandemic sort of brought back into us, was the fact that while we were all moving towards these open office spaces before that, I think everyone sort of realized the importance of having these voids, as you speak, of having these places where you can just disconnect as well.
I know a case in point was our conference room in the office. It had the most incredible view. So standing on site, one felt it would be an absolute travesty to create a box which disconnected it from its environment, the trees, the sky. So made a little sketch which took 2 years to materialize, because collaborations in this area are incredibly important, and you need to find the people who understand that and have the skill to be able to, walk with you in that direction. And the sketch was to have a space which, like the wings of a bird, would completely open up. So it just pivots on one end and everything lifts at the touch of a button and then closes when you want the focus and the privacy. And I see the reaction that people have when they enter, because initially there's this incredible view, and when the box starts actually coming down, there is at least 3 minutes of beautiful silence, where they're watching the wheel turn and the motion provokes a sense of departure from everything present. And then, voila, you're in a whole new space with the touch of a button.
I think it's as difficult as it sounds to think and then actually, convert that idea to reality, but very beautiful. I'm going to move on to